don't smoke crack, motherfucker, I sell it.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the Miscellaneous Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Jesus Dinero, here with my co-host,
Puma El Gato.
What do we got going on tonight, my man?
Big back delivery denied. Let's talk.
As some of you guys may have seen, there was a heavy-set woman, a calorie-high woman, a big back, a silver back, a torta, whatever you want to call her, trying to get into a lift. She had ordered a lift ride. She was denied. You can see in the video the man that was denying her the lift was basically saying she was too big, and he was doing it as nice as possible. He didn't call her fat. He didn't, shame her in any way. He just said, "Look, baby, you just can't fit. This is not a one size fits all."
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me.
And after that, this woman then began to sue. Started a lawsuit against Lyft for, basically being fat phobic. I understand. It's funny. I actually saw a story very recently about a woman who is apparently trying to make it more of a normal thing to have two-seaters, basically two seats morphed on planes because, it's not appropriate. You're basically fat shaming. You shouldn't force them to buy two seats. And listen, ma'am, when your capacity, when your coach, when your body takes up two seats, you should absolutely be forced to buy two seats, because we as a society should not be forced to move around your issues. If you want to be big, hey, listen, power to you. Be big. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Just like with this woman, Dank Moss or whatever the hell. Dank Demos, whatever the hell her rap name is. That's fine. If you want to be big and put your own life at risk, there's nothing wrong with that. That being said, listen, we shouldn't have to bear the brunt of your stupidity as a society. This woman suing Lyft, even though she is clearly a large woman, and based on the car that I saw and her rotundness, I do not believe she would fit in that car. That being said, listen, she's suing. It's funny. She posted a picture of herself in a different Lyft vehicle. But listen, you could definitely tell that was a Lyft XL. That was a big vehicle. And I'll be honest with you, she was looking like she was barely fitting in that bad boy. So I think it's kind of insane that all these people are trying to do all this weird stuff. Except, listen, nobody. I don't care. If you want to be a large woman, that there's nothing wrong with that. You be large all you want. In fact, there are individuals out there, like my man here, we'll call him Lyft, that look for those type of women. He will easily give you a lift, ma'am. That being said, let's call it what it is. You're kind of putting your BS on the rest of society. If you want to be large and you want to have fun as a large woman and indulge in individuals like my sick friend here, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're not going to put that BS on the rest of us. There's no reason why, as a large woman, you should be criticizing what this man very nicely was trying to tell you, that you could not fit in his car. And I'll be honest with you, it was a small-looking car. I personally would be a little worried at what the suspension would look like after that. I can completely understand why the man did not want to damage his vehicle for what is likely maybe a $20, $30, or $40 ride. Having your vehicle bear the brunt of that assault would be a little bit of a shame to be putting on that vehicle simply for a $30, $40, best case scenario, $50 ride. And again, listen, there's been, ever since this woman came out and decided to sue Lyft, there's been a number of people that have put up videos on her. I guess there was another video where she was doing a concert and her body gave out under her own weight. Again, listen, ma'am, this isn't this gentleman. Yes, he was doing it very nicely, but this isn't just this gentleman tell you may be a little bit too rotund. It is the laws of gravity. It is God. It is physics telling you, ma'am, you might want to tone it down a bit. And listen, I have nothing against big people. I'm a big man myself. The fact that I can acknowledge these things are not society's problems but my own, or this woman's problems are not society's but her own, I think we need to be a little bit fair here. Listen, ma'am, stop living in this delusional society where you think the world's going to cater to you. Because listen, first of all, nobody knew your name as a rapper up until this Lyft's lawsuit. Nobody knew who you were. You're gaining fame off of this thing, and let's be honest, you're probably getting a little bit of money because now people are looking into you, probably looking at your song, seeing if it's worth to listen to, and so on and so forth. But Imagine having society change the entirety of imagine a business. Just imagine a business for a second, changing the entirety of their business model because of one person's largeness. Because think about this. Moving forward, if she wins her lawsuit, is Lyft gonna have to put in some sort of, I don't know, if you weigh a certain much, we recommend this vehicle. Like, think about that dynamic there. And listen, maybe Lyft's like, hey, maybe this is a perfect way to charge extra for the big men, for the big O's, for the rotund individuals, like high calorie individuals. Maybe this is a way that they can, market towards certain people. And that's fine. But to think that the entirety of society has to cater to your stupidity is where I personally draw the line. There's a certain amount of self-respect and a certain amount of accountability that we all have to take for the decisions we make in life. And I feel like this woman is trying to get out of her accountability, which I'm not going to stand for. She at times apparently couldn't stand for it either. So I think it's about high time that we all cut the BS and stop catering to these individuals and all the weirdos that are supporting her. More than likely a certain community. We need to stop this shit. This woman has all the advantages of the world. If she can order an Uber XL, a Lyft XL, or whatever the fuck they call it, to be able to ride around and have fun, I'm sure she can afford to get on a healthy diet and maybe get to a better way. And listen, let's be honest. Lizzo's doing it right now, right? Maybe Lizzo has a lot of money. She's probably cheating, doing the Ozempic shit. And that's fine too. But listen, this whole empowerment of the big women thing, it's a lie. If Lizzo was the poster child for that, she's not proving it's a lie because she's trying to get down to something more manageable. Something more that people find her attractive in. Because let's be honest, again, even when Lizzo was out here promoting this body positivity shit, she was on the back end, and don't even take my word for it. Go look at the people suing Lizzo. She was making fun of them for their size. Lizzo was constantly going after thin men when she herself was big. And so on and so forth. So let's stop the cap. Let's stop letting these idiots even get a dime out of companies like this. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend any multinational corporation because I'm generally not a fan of them. But in this particular case, ma'am, you are the stupid one. Stop letting your inability to control yourself, manage, or trying to force your way of life on other people. What do you think about that, my man?
Listen, man, as the resident torta hound on this show, on this panel, the torta pounder with cheese, the comal that heats up the tortas. Listen, I understand that it's gonna seem like I'm gonna be shooting myself in the foot with some of the comments that I'm gonna make here because they're gonna seem at the very least a little bit hurting. I do have to say, at the very least, there should be a kind of limit on this sort of thing. And what I mean by that is, look, as a bigger girl, as a bigger man, there has to be a little bit of concessions of where you think you can be in your life, whether weight or not, and have to make some concessions like, okay, if I see any place with 2 flights of stairs, I'm not going up to the second floor. I have to accept that. I have to accept that as a big man. If I see 2 flights of stairs, I'm like, all right, this ain't for me, chief. There's an elevator and I see there's a weight limit and I exceed it well over, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not going to the second floor today. This man, that Lyft driver, saw a limit. And look, at the sad thing, at the end of the day, he legit couldn't do anything. Lyft, I understand they had to make their statement of, oh, we don't practice discrimination. We don't have to do this. It's basically like a whole PR message or whatever. And they obviously had to fire the driver. And I understand that. As a company, you have to do that. I'm not really mad at Lyft for that. At the end of the day, the only one taking the biggest L here was the driver. And I'm pretty sure he can come pull up on Uber or whatever ride sharing app that he can get. But you gotta think, this man was doing a cost analysis in his head as he was pulling up to the driveway. He was pulling up and thinking it was just a regular lady looking to get a ride to her buddy's place and all that. And pulling up to see Dank Demos. And I can already tell this man was trying to be as polite as possible. I was like, look, man, unfortunately, I can't help you right now. I don't know if you're going to be able to fit on my car. He was trying to give the most PR message as he could because he knew for a fact he was getting recorded. And he was like, all right, one mishandled step, I'm getting canceled on the rip. I can already tell this man was pulling up to that crib, saw who his passenger was, and he was like, what? Oh, hell nah! He knew he wasn't entirely trusting of his suspension system on his car, and he was like, nah, I'm not testing that today. And look, again, if you want to be a big woman, that's fine. You're perfectly well within your reason and your freedoms to do so if you want. It's your body at the end of the day. There's nothing I can do about it. If this man didn't want to test his suspension system, again, that's on him. If he gets fired at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. But ma'am, your own bodily suspension system couldn't even trust you. Out here crashing on stage. And you know what the messed up part was? She was talking to this man out in the street. She lost her breath multiple times. Ma'am, how are you standing still and talking and losing your breath like Craig from Malcolm in the Middle? I don't understand why you won't let me in the lift. Nah. I'm not gonna lie though, that Malcolm in the Middle throw was a bit of a throwback for me. I kind of miss watching that show. Regardless, you have to understand, you have a little bit of a concession that you have on your hands with some of the lifestyle choices you live. We all get that. I'm not saying you should lower your weight for anybody. If you want to lower your weight or stay at the weight that you are or get even bigger, that's well within your rights. But you also have to understand that comes with a lot of concessions. And that means, unfortunately, it's going to sound fucked up. Going to have to go to Dave Blunt's route and have to start hiring forklift. Like he did on that stage that one time. Yeah. It's just a shame, but if I'm going to keep it real, I'm going to keep it real. Might shoot myself in the foot here, but what are you going to do?
Listen, man, nobody can ever accuse this man of being fatphobic. Again, this is the man that willingly, not through force, willingly takes on the big opponents, the big women. So no one can ever call this man anything even close to that. With that being said, listen, man, there's weight limits on things for a reason. When you go in an elevator, it tells you what the maximum weight capacity is. When you go on a lot of different rides, it tells you the same thing. When you go on certain adventures, you know that you can't. Like, I'll be honest with you, man, would you really take the risk of going on one of those zip lines? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I would highly advise against it. Or I'd say, hey, man, you might want to sign, a little bit of an insurance policy before you get on that bad boy. There's a reason these things are. Physics are here, whether we believe in them or not, man. And you clearly need to be realistic about the circumstance. Hopefully that dude doesn't get fired, man. Honestly, I think he got fired. Well, phenomenal. Yay. You see what I'm talking about, man? The delusions of other people cause good people the job. Because the guy was so nice about it. He was just trying to say, she was trying to do everything but say, ma'am, you're too large. You're too big. It is what it is, man. Again, at least at the very least, the man spared his own car from, unfortunately, a violently horrible death. And hopefully we can come to some agreement to not pay these type of individuals. We'll see where the story goes. It'll be interesting. I'm not lying. I'm definitely going to keep tuned because I really, really, really hope this woman does not get any money. Now with that, make sure to like, comment, hate, subscribe, DM us about the bullshit, and
Until next time, get rest and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one.